Good morning. It's Sunday. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. It is a glorious spring morning, and the weatherman said it's going to be the perfect spring day. It's going to go up to about 71 degrees and be mostly sunny. I just love this weather. We've been so blessed this spring. I hear the birds again, and the sun is definitely shining today. Haven't done anything with the hair yet. No, don't worry about it. It'll be there. Nobody's looking at it anyway. Today's earrings kind of take me back to memory lane. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little kind of oval, and they're 24 karat gold, and they were a pair of cufflinks that my grandfather had. And my grandmother had them made into some earrings, some sets of earrings after he died. His name was Paris Matucci, and he grew up in northern Italy in a small town called Castelnuovo. He spoke 7 languages, and he was a very prim and proper man. Part of his life he spent actually in Africa, in Tunisia. When we did some genealogy, he had 6 or 7 siblings, and 2 or 3 of them were born in Italy. He was one of those, and the others were born in Tunisia. So his father must have had some work in Africa because that was a part of the Roman Empire at that time. So I think about my grandfather. He died when I was a freshman in high school. He had Parkinson's disease, but I can only remember him ever wearing a suit, a white long sleeve shirt with cufflinks and a tie. He was always dressed ready to go. He worked at a very fancy French restaurant in New York City called the Chambord, and he was the maitre d' there. And so he had pictures of himself. I wish I had those pictures with a lot of celebrities, New York celebrities, especially from TV in the 50s and just early 60s. So I remember him today, Paris. He was quite a sophisticated man. Every time we went to my grandmother's house for a big Italian dinner almost every Sunday. And we'd eat for 2 or 3 hours, and then the men would get out the cards and smoke cigars and play poker. And that's what I remember. I also remember that every time we left, my grandfather gave us $5 each. So that was a big deal in those days. So I got a note card in the mail yesterday. It looks kind of geometric. It is. And it's actually a letter because my friend writes microscopically. I don't know if you can see that. So it would probably take me several pages to write all that. And her name is Mary, and she lives just in a town outside of Binghamton called Endicott. And we went to graduate school together. She was a science major. She was going to be a science teacher. I was going to be a math teacher. And we were in a Master of Arts in Teaching program together. And we took a class together called Methods of Teaching Science in Secondary School. I took that because I needed 1 more credit hour, and that was kind of in my field. So we became good friends. We palled around. I stayed in Binghamton for a few years after I finished school up there. I was a home teacher and went to students' homes. And Mary and I remember us going and picking blueberries rather, and we made jam, and we took a road trip to Florida together. And her father had a plane, a small plane, and my parents came to visit us one weekend, and he took my father and me up in the plane. And that was probably my first small plane experience anyway. So yesterday I got this note from Mary, and it's kind of a sad note because she said that her husband died unexpectedly on December 28th of a massive heart attack. They had been married for almost as long as we have, 40-something years, and they never had any children, but they were very devoted to each other, and they loved each other very much. I never met him because I was just leaving Binghamton to come out here when she started dating him. but he was the only person she really seriously dated, and they were the loves of each other's lives. And she's very lonely right now, especially with the isolation and quarantine, because New York State has been quarantined for a while. Binghamton is up in the middle of the state, right along the Pennsylvania border. It's a town that sits just a few miles from Pennsylvania as New York State goes across. Anyway, I just wanted to issue a challenge to us, to all of us, for this week. It's not a daily challenge, it's a weekly challenge. So this is a week. I want you to go back in your memory and to find someone that you haven't spoken to or seen in a long time. Mary and I are Christmas card friends. So every year for 40 years we have exchanged Christmas cards and pictures. I've sent pictures of my family. She sends pictures of her husband and herself. I want you to take some time and to write a letter. In this, she's not really technology oriented, and she said she's learned how to text, and she sent me her email. And my first instinct was to send her a text, and I thought, no, she took the time to write this very long letter to me, and I'm going to take some time to write a response. And I challenge each of you to write something to someone that you love or someone from your past. I know we all have friends that we haven't seen for a while, and maybe that will brighten their day. I know going down memory lane today kind of made me nostalgic. I remembered my grandfather, and I remembered the fun times I had with my buddy. And so I hope you remember some good times too. I know we're going to have a great week. The weather's going to be in the 70s most of the week. A few little April showers, but May is at the end of the week. I cannot believe that. So it is going very quickly. We are going to do Mass this morning on TV. Haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. Obviously, have not done anything with my hair. But I love you all and I miss you. Talk to you tomorrow.